Hey, it's Nick here from M4A1 Gel Blaster, and we're over at our shop warehouse at number 11500 17 Mile Rocks Road in 17 Mile Rocks. And I'm here today with a couple of staff members. I've got Liam here and Locke. And we're going to talk a little bit about gels because there seems to still be a little bit of confusion out there about gels and whether your blaster is working or not working. We actually bulk buy our gels, and we test our gels before we actually ship them. And we've got three colors here. We've got the reds, the blues, and the milkies. And all of these gels are different sizes. So that means that they won't all work the same in every blaster. You have to work out which one works best in the blaster you're using. So I'll pass you over to Liam, and Liam will just tell you a little bit about the gels.
Alright, so colour is more of a guideline to finding out which gel goes in your blaster best. We find that reds tend to hydrate to a specific size of 7.4, 7.5. They're great for stock blasters. They perform pretty well, and they're good for anything that's just out of the box. When you go to a milky, they tend to be slightly smaller in size, and they're a little harder. Now that's great for modified blasters, but you lose a little bit of air volume when the smaller projectile travels through the stock barrel. So unless you're modifying stuff, whites can work, but they have a little bit of loss in the FPS. It's not that big of a deal. You can see them much better coming out the barrel. So there's a bit of a benefit and a trade-off there. Now the blues are the biggest at hydrating to 7.5, 7.6. Now they form a very good air seal in any stock blaster, and they perform very well for an FPS straight out of the box. They also go very well on the Glocks, which tend to have a double feeding issue with two of the smaller gels feeding into the breech. The blues tend not to have that problem.
Yeah, and just on that, Liam, as well, we have found that the M4SS is also liking the blue gels because it can also have the double feeding problem, which can lead to jamming in the M4SS because it has a slightly larger T-piece. And just on the subject of gels as well, we do get the occasional phone call with people ringing us and saying that their blaster isn't working because gels aren't feeding up or shooting out through the barrel. And we have found that 99% of the time, that's either because they are using the included gels in the packet that their blaster comes in, which generally aren't of the highest quality, or they haven't let the gels soak for long enough. So we do recommend a minimum of 4 hours to make sure your gels are at the full size.
It's also it's really necessary to actually leave those gels fully submerged in water, because as soon as you take the gels out of water, they're going to start dehydrating. So whilst you're not using them, leave them in the bucket of water submerged. They'll keep their size. You can leave them in there for weeks. I mean, you might want to change the water after a week or so. You just pour them into a colander and replace that water. But leaving in the water, they can't overgrow. They will only grow to their maximum size, and they'll just stay like that. Anything else you guys want to bring up whilst we're talking about gels? I think we've pretty much covered it.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty good with that.
Yeah.